Hello and welcome back to the Clean Hour podcast. It's episode 10 today, and we're back talking about risk management. So double digits, we are, it's flying by, man. Matt, welcome back. You all right?
Yes, all good, my friend. All good this end. Looking forward to getting into risk management.
Yeah,
yes.
Episode 10. I remember when we first had the idea for this. It seems like ages ago now. We're already on to 10 episodes, man. It's crazy. It's flown by.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been quick, hasn't it? It's gone really quick.
Yeah, man.
But yes, I've enjoyed it, though. It's been good. Really good.
Good. Risk management. I thought this sounded a bit boring. I said this to you before. I didn't understand it fully. But when you explained it, it actually becomes really interesting, and it becomes something necessary as well. So it's basically about every business faces setbacks, but how prepared are we for those setbacks, isn't it? So there's lots of different areas that we can touch on. But to kick things off, just give us an overview. What risks do businesses face? And let's keep it to exterior cleaning.
Okay, risk management, massive subject, and it can go off in a whole manner of different avenues. But if we can keep it really simple and really give a lot of value in this podcast about the risk management. So when we talk risk management, right, we are 100 miles an hour doing our job, going that way. We're going forward 100 miles an hour. What we don't then appreciate is we're not looking at risks. And when I say risk, what risk can we do? Right, so if you run an exterior cleaning company and you are a one-man band, two-man band, and you're running it all on your home PC or your laptop, are you backing it up every week? Or is your whole business for the last year, 10 years, 20 years on your laptop? If that laptop vanished or broke, have you lost your business? Is all your clients on there? Is all your invoicing on there? You know, so if your laptop went or your computer went down today, how do you know who owes your money? Is all your invoices on there? All your unpaid work on there? You know, so risk management is, right, every Monday morning, I'm going to back my hard drive up to an external hard drive. So then if my computer goes down, it doesn't matter. I just plug my hard drive into another one and we go again. Risk management. What's your management if your van gets stolen? If you've got 2 months worth of work in front of you, what have you put in place for your pressure washer breaking? You know, it's having this management in place that you know it's an SOP and it's a standard operation procedure. If my pressure washer breaks, what do we do? What do we do? How do we get over it? Because I've got so much work in front of me. What is the plan? The plan is I've already got in place that I'm going to borrow a pressure washer off my mate who's 2 counties away because he's got 2 or 3 of them. I'm going to jump in the van, drive over there. He's already told me I can borrow his pressure washer because he's got a spare one. That's what I've got in place for that. My van being stolen, what am I going to do? I'm going to hire a van. I'm going to use the car and I've got a trailer. It's stuff like that. So that's where risk management comes into play. Now, we're not saying this is going to happen to you, and we're not saying that, you know, you might go the whole of your career and nothing ever goes wrong. Highly unlikely. If you think about your own business journey now, when stuff breaks, it sort of becomes the end of the world, doesn't it, for the first 30 minutes. But if you've got a risk management procedure in place, then actually it's quite simple, because you go, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's annoying that the pressure washer has broke. It's annoying that my van wet belt has gone, but this was the plan that we had in place for it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That's risk management. It does sound corporate, but when you break it down to external cleaning, there's so many little things we can do just to have a plan to compensate for that risk. That's it, mate.
Yeah, so it's to future-proof and solidify your business, isn't it? It's just the phrase risk management that is making it sound weird. I think let's just say how to solidify and future-proof your business, how to make it stronger and prevent damages long-term. That's a better way to maybe say it.
Yeah.
So let's start with, let's just pick different areas. Let's go financial to begin with then.
Okay.
What risks are we looking at with finances? Are we talking cash flow problems, paying expenses, dealing with customer payments? What are we thinking here in terms of finances?
Okay. So what I'd be saying with your finances is checking your bank every day, either the end of the day or the start of the day, understanding what money in, money out looks like. Because we live in a world now of cybercrime, don't we? And banks are getting dipped daily. Your bank might be getting dipped if you haven't looked at your bank for a week. And what they're very clever at doing now is disguising these payments as very small numbers. £7.50 to the AA, £6 to Halfords. Stuff that automatically doesn't stand out because the figure's so small. And it may be a store that you do use. So financially, check your banks daily. Make sure you know what should be in your account daily. Check the transactions. Because if you're letting them slip, there's a risk there, right? What is the risk? If you notice something on your bank that isn't right, cancel the card. Block your card. So no more can go out until you spoke to your bank. That is one thing that every business owner should be doing in risk management, is checking the banks daily, every day, without check every transaction. That's the first thing with financials, is having that in place. Another one that in financials is your accountant, right? You can pay insurance for your accountant. And what I mean by that is, if HMRC or the Inland Revenue decide to do an investigation on your business because something doesn't sit right, and it can be anything that triggers an investigation. I went 25 years without an investigation. November last year, I went through an investigation. And the reason why I went through an investigation, because I'd been paying VAT every quarter and I always owed them. Whatever, 6, 7, 10 grand. I always had to pay my VAT quarter. Came to this quarter, they owed me 13 grand. Why? A previous quarter, not this quarter. Because I'd bought new machines, new vans, new equipment. And it turned the books round that they owed me so much money.
Right.
That triggered an investigation. Right? They wrote to us and said, we're going to investigate your last 2 VAT quarters. My insurance policy then kicked in to pay my accountant. Because the work you have to do for an investigation, they don't just say, oh, can you send us a couple of invoices? No. They want to come to you. They'll either come to your office, your home, or your accountant's office, and they will spend the day going through everything, every single item that you've bought and claimed VAT for.
Over X amount of years?
No, well, they do it over the last. Mine was over the last 2 quarters.
Okay.
So 6 months worth of invoices in and out, they investigated, right? They investigate that. But they'd spent hours previous with my accountant, going backwards and forwards. Then they spent a day with him. Well, that's a bill of like £4,000 or £5,000. Have you got £4,000 for an investigation? Probably not. Get it insured. Get it insured. Get investigations insured. Speak to your accountant, see if they offer you the insurance. It's worth the extra £30-40 a month on your accountancy bill to get yourself insured, to protect you from that. It's like any insurance, isn't it? We think we're never going to need it. But when you do need it, you're better off having it in place. So there's just 2 quick things that I would say that you need to be looking at as a business owner. It's risk again. The risk is if we get investigated, my accountant's going to have that bill. If someone's dipping the banks, if you've got lads that have got debit cards for materials and you run your business that way, or on charge card, checking your bank daily will make sure that everything is aligned. Not everyone's trustworthy, right? Not everyone's trustworthy. So the risk is someone's taking money out of your bank. You need to know where it's going. Hence, they're the two top things financially, I would say.
Interesting.
Definitely.
And what about, let's talk about cash flow and seasonal slowdown. So obviously, if you're just offering pressure washing for driveways and patios or gutters, there will be a point throughout the year that when work dips off, assume you don't offer roof cleaning or something, you see, like all year round. So how important is it to have money in the bank and to make sure, you know, customers are paid you? You've taken into account when things slow down to keep your business going. Because if you have got nothing at the end of each month, one slow month can ruin you, can't it? So it's important to look after cash flow and make sure you're on top of that, isn't it?
It is. You know, your role in the business is to provide longevity. Longevity is provided with cash. Cash flow is the biggest killer of every business. Understanding cash flow and being able to manage cash flow. You know, I speak to people that say, oh yeah, I've got fucking invoices that are outstanding that are, 15, 25, 35 days. And I say to them, who are they with? Are they commercial? No, they're domestic, because I haven't got round to fucking chasing them. Fucking suicidal, right? They're not fucking friends. It's a business transaction. You need that cash in your business because you've got to keep the wheels turning. You've got to keep people paid. You've got to pay your suppliers. You've got to buy materials. You've got to pay wages. You've got to put fuel in your van. Mrs. Jones that hasn't paid you 1,500 quid for repointing a patio and jet washing it, mate, she needs to pay. You know, domestically, you should be 24 hours from completion. The minute you complete that job, the invoice should be sent. From the invoice landing, they've got 24 hours to pay it. And you need to be on that and getting that money in. Relentless. It's not their money now, it's yours. There was a transaction agreement. You said you will do X. They said they will pay Y. You've delivered X. Now they need to pay Y. That's how it works. Not, oh, I'll chase it at the weekend. No, you chase it now. If it's overdue 24 hours, bang, you're on it. Cash flow. The lack of cash flow will kill any business. It does. I've been there. I've sat for hours trying to work out who we're going to pay, who we can speak to, who we can't pay, how we're going to talk to them, because it is absolutely critical. And you're only as good as your debt recovery, aren't you? If people don't want to pay you and you're soft at it, then you're going to go out of business. Yeah. You're going to go out of business. You need it coming in. And in the domestic world, right, it's pretty a nice place to be domestically. Because if you're invoicing every day, you're getting paid every day. So the cash is always dropping in to your bank every day if you're busy. And I think the other part of the question was, you asked about slow months, didn't you? And the year end.
That's an emergency fund kind of thing.
Yeah. This is a really, really tough one, right? Because if your numbers aren't right at the start and you're living hand to mouth, which a lot of pressure washing companies do, because we're in this race to the bottom, they're not building up a war chest. And if you're not building up a war chest, how do you survive the lean periods? Because there is going to be lean periods, because we know that external cleaning is seasonal. So what do? You then go start picking up other work, and you start picking up, I don't know why my clock rang, apologies in the middle of that, my bloody timer rang. But you're then trying to pick up other work to get you through the leaner periods, where if your pricing's right and your cash flow's right, why don't you just start putting a little percentage away every job, right? Every job as an emergency fund. And the emergency fund can be for anything, can't it? A broken van, it can be. Emergency fund isn't for holidays. and it isn't for treating the missus and kids, right? That's not what it's for. As much as it's tempting, and we've spoke about this before, been there, got the t-shirt, got the hat, gone, fuck me, I'm going to take them around the world, done it. Fucking disaster, right? Because you come back and something goes wrong and you've got no money. Your emergency fund is for business emergencies. Now, it doesn't have to be massive. If you're a one-man band, right, an emergency fund might look at maybe $5,000. It might look at $5,000. You go, well, with $5,000, I'm not going to do nothing for the whole of November. I'm probably going to earn, let's say, and I'm making this up, let's say we're going to make $1,000 in November, and I may need to dip into the emergency fund. I may need to take 1,500 quid out of it. And then the same in December, and the same in January, the same in February. Now your emergency fund is back down to almost zero, but you're starting prime season again, and you start building it up. If you get to the end of this season and you haven't got an emergency fund, what are you going to do? Seriously, what are you going to do? Now, if you're a bigger company, the size of your company determines your emergency fund. You know, I see people say you should have in your emergency fund 3 months of running costs.
Yeah. Is that including your own payment as well, or just the business expenses? Yeah, it's everything.
That's everything. So they're saying that if your business overheads are 20 grand a month, then 60 grand should be ring fenced in your emergency account. That's it. You can even put it in a high interest savings account and take it offline, put it anywhere, put it under your bed, but you've got it. But it's interesting, isn't it, right? Because I read a stat about personal savings and personal finances, and it was something like, I want to say something like 56% of people haven't got access to £1,000. Haven't got access to £1,000. And now we're asking business owners to have 3 months worth of money. Have I got 3 months worth of money in my businesses? Probably not, if I'm honest. Fire and security, definitely not, because it's a massive beast. Definitely, absolutely nowhere near that. That's cash critical, always is. It just the way it is. Cotswold roof cleaning, yes, just. Cobra, yeah, absolutely. Mentoring, yeah, definitely, because there's no overheads really. But one of my biggest companies, no, we haven't. We haven't got it. So managing that risk is sleepless nights, I promise you. So, you know, I'm not sat here from an ivory tower saying everything's fucking great, and it isn't. I've got businesses at different levels, but it's how you manage that, isn't it? But if you want to seriously look at your cash position, you know, there's an old saying, isn't there? For the old and bold of us, cash is king. And what they're saying is, if you've got cash on the hip, as Del Boy used to say, then you can get through these stormy waters, can't you? If you're running hand to mouth, that's a massive risk. Yeah. Massive risk. If your van blows up tomorrow and you can't afford to get it repaired or hire a van, what do you do? Yeah. What do you do as a one-man band? That's what I would say.
Well, let's go into the operations side then, because that's good. That's quite a lot of finance there. It's very important to think about that. Let's talk about operations then. I think it was a few episodes ago you told us about your military style routine that you and Keith have for your roof cleaning. I guess what happens if you can't work tomorrow? Get a little link back to finances a bit, but let's go equipment failure then first. Do you have doubles of everything? Because I remember the first 6 months of my cleaning business, I didn't even have O-rings. I think I said this in one episode. When it went, I didn't even know what one was. I just wasn't prepared. Do you try and have 2 of everything, or do you have backups or the ability to fix things? Like what are you thinking there in terms of kit day to day?
A little bit of both, right? And I think what we do is, I think people rely on equipment far too long. And when you buy something new, right, and I'll say this, I'll talk about Cobra, right? I'll talk about the air compressor, right? I believe, and I might be proven wrong, and other people might say differently, but I believe the shelf life, operational shelf life of a Cobra being used every day is 2 years. Now, it'll go longer than that, but 2 years, I believe, is the optimum life. And it's the same for a pressure washer, right? So what I'm saying is if you buy a pressure washer from any of the companies and you pay $3,000 for it, right? $3,000, $3,500 for a decent Honda, or you pay fucking $4,000 for a Cobra, right? 2 years, you have made your money 1,000,000 times over, right? 1,000,000 times over. So the mentality should be, right, in 2 years, I'm going to buy a new pressure washer, right? Maybe you can upgrade to a slightly better one, I don't know. Maybe you're going to buy the same again, right? Because you've earned so much money on that machine, right? My roof cleaning is £1,000 a day. Cobra's paid for in a week. In a week it's paid for. So at the end of 2 years, when I've earned a fortune from it, I'm going to buy another one and I'm going to start using the new one. And my old one will sit and I'll rotate that probably every 6 weeks and give it a run out. Same with your pressure washer. So now you're building this own risk management into your equipment. Don't throw the old poles away. Don't throw your old backpack away. Repair the split hose on your gardener backpack and keep it. Keep it as a backup. You know, there's a fine line between hoarding and being operationally efficient with equipment. And it's just having that knowledge that if a key piece of equipment breaks, I watch, you know, all these boys that do these pressure washers, and when they're in mid-season, they are flat out repairing, building new systems. You ain't going to walk into it tomorrow and say, you can't just fix this for me. No, you're going to be in a queue.
Yeah.
Well, if that's critical to your business, do you not think you'd be better off having a spare one in your garage or your shed?
Mm-hmm.
Or you go as far as having it on the van. I carry 2 Cobras. Why do I carry 2 Cobras? Because I work an hour away from my business. It's a petrol engine. If that petrol engine decides not to work, well, I've lost £1,000 that day. Mm-hmm. So it's just little things like that. If you've got a second machine that's critical to your job, then have it in the van with you, or have it if you're not far away, have it in a unit. If you work within the 10, 15 miles of your unit, brilliant. You can nip back and get it. Work carries on. And that's what I'd say. I think people hang on to things and use it with no backup way too long. Everything's got a lifespan on it. Everything we buy.
Do you reckon it always links back to the same issue, though, which is money? Because I remember probably this time last year, I was up doing a roof. It was a 3-dayer. I got on to day 3 and I probably had a quarter of the house to do, and I was buzzing. I was like, here we go, whistling into work, get this done in the sunshine. And about 10 minutes in, my Mosmatic, the rotary arm clipped a tile and snapped in two. And I didn't have a backup, and I rang Rutland Pumps, PWS, no one had one in. I think Rutland Pumps did, but they were 3.5 hours away. And I was like, fucking hell, man, like, what are you meant to do? What do you do? Yeah. And luckily I found someone who was close in the end, but just if you don't have these backups, then...
This is it. In an ideal world, right? In an ideal world, you would have everything doubled up in your garage. In an ideal world. In an ideal world. But when you've got key bits of kit, right? If you spend $2,500 on a key bit of kit and you say to yourself, right, the lifespan of this is 2 years. I'll probably get 4 out of it, but 2 years, right? Take that $2,500, divide it between, if you work 50 weeks a year, you're saying the lifespan is 2 years. Divide the $2,500 through 100 weeks, innit? So what's that? 2,000 divided by 100. 25 quid a week, right? 25 quid a week. If you say to yourself, I'm going to put 25 quid a week away and I'm not going to touch it, for 100 weeks. What's it for? Because in 100 weeks, I'm going to buy a new machine. That's it. I know it's very easy to say that because money for everyone is different and there's going to be things that we need. But if you're serious about building a safe business, then start looking at your equipment. Don't fucking run it into the ground and then moan on social media because your fucking pressure washer or your compressor or your fucking van is fucking broken because you've run it into the ground. Be ahead of the game. Be ahead of the game. Service equipment. How many vans do we open up that are in shit state and kit thrown in? Look after your kit. Mm-hmm. Like Trigger said, look after your broom. Your broom will look after you. And there's a famous line in Unfools and Horses.
You've been watching that. You've dropped a couple of references for that.
I know I have, yeah. And it's right, though, isn't it? It's right. If you look after your equipment, then it'll serve you well. Mm-hmm. But don't hang on to it forever. Everything's got a shelf life. Invest in your business. That asset is still in the business. So there's still a value to it. Yes, it's depreciation. When your accountant does your accounts, we put depreciation into our assets, but it's still got a value, even if it's sat in the garage. Mm-hmm. It's still a value in your company. Yeah.
I think equipment insurance as well is a big one because you have your public liability insurance, don't you, when you have this kind of business, and there's an option to add on cover your equipment up to whatever you put it to, 6, 7, 8 grand. It's really easy to not add that bit on. I know people who haven't added it on before, but if your van mounted and your machine catches fire and your whole van goes up with all your kit, you're gone. If you're not insured with that, if that's not an extra cover, you're out of business probably, unless you've got another 7, 8, 9 grand sitting there plus a second van. So insurances are a big one. Definitely make sure you have that insurance for all your kit as well. And also I think suppliers are one to think about as well. Like where you get your hypo from, or your buyer side, or the brushes for your machines. What happens if that supplier goes down, or what happens if their backlog is 3 months? I don't want to get too much into your story about Cobra, but that's something of how Cobra came about, wasn't it? It was supply issues. So have that in the back of your mind as well.
Yeah, I became my own supply chain.
Yeah,
that was it. Mm-hmm. That's the story. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you use X company for X product, have a backup, right? Have a backup. And a prime example, right? This is a really good one, right? So I've got 4 businesses. I could very easily have all 4 businesses marketed with one of my marketing partners, but I don't. What do? I split it. Because I'm getting knowledge then from both sides of the funnel, from you, Michael, and from Sam Arner. And the risk is then, if I had all my businesses with Sam, say, right, and Sam decided tomorrow that he's won the lottery and he's off to sit on an island somewhere and no one's ever going to get hold of him ever again.
He's not far away from that.
No, but we laugh and joke, don't we? But but shit happens, doesn't it? Shit happens, and all of a sudden you're like, where's my marketing gone? He was responsible for bringing every job into my business. So what I've done is I've split it between you and him, and I have a great working relationship with both of you. Why have I done that? Because you've both got a different outlook on marketing. You've both got a different level of experience, and it minimises my risk. So if you buy your chemicals from a supplier, and we talk about loyalty, there's nothing wrong with being loyal to 2 or 3 companies. Because if you're loyal to 2 or 3 companies and you spread the loyalty and the funding, guess what? You've always got someone you can call on. Mm-hmm. You can always call on someone. If you're loyal, you see all the time, oh no, I only go to them. They are fucking brilliant. And then when you ring them and they can't get you what you want because they're in demand or they've got a backlog or their suppliers let them down, guess what? You find yourself in a problem again. You know, so literally have a look around. Yes, they may not be as great service and they may be slightly dearer. You might find they might be slightly cheaper. All of a sudden, your supply network, you're then spreading the risk. You want to make sure your job is to make sure that your business can function every day. How? Spread the risk, minimize the risk, have several suppliers. Don't be hell bent on one supplier and that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yes, they're really good, but I also use another supplier who are as equally as good, and we share the love and we keep me moving. If that supplier can't get it yet, maybe the other one can. You're back to work again, aren't you? That's what it's about. You know, just don't have all your eggs in one basket.
That leads me on nicely to marketing, because I think it's the same issue. The same concept applies, sorry. I've said to a few of my guys, you know, I love having you as a client, of course I do, but you don't want me as your only source of leads, because if I pack it in, or when leads slow down like it does sometimes at this time of year, what's your backup? How are you still getting working? And that goes back to, like you said, putting your eggs in one basket. If you go 100% of your marketing budget into Facebook ads or Google ads or SEO or nothing, what happens when that dries up? You have to have as many streams of leads, for me, as possible to keep everything going. You should definitely double down on what works the most. So if Facebook ads are bringing in the most for you, yes, that should be where most of your income goes to it. But you have to have your socials going. You have to have your organic SEO. You have to maybe try Google ads. You got to do your Facebook ads. Yes, do some leafleting, some door knocking when you're out and about, because that way then, if one of them slows down, your business doesn't slow down. And so what do you reckon that with marketing? Do you have different streams? I know you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. But why is that important, do you think?
Yeah. So we've just literally turned our paid ads back on 6 days ago. And the only reason we've turned them back on is to test our new ad. That's it. We haven't turned it on because we want paid ads. We turned it on because I need to test and make sure that the videos we've made are going to work at the end of the year. Now it's been off for 2 months, 2.5 months. We haven't paid any paid ads because our other avenues are working. Our blogs, our social media, our website, our organic, our SEO, our our leafleting is all working. It's all working for the roof cleaning. But now we're testing these ads. I'm going to need to test them in a hard market. The hard market's now. Would I ever rely solely on one form of marketing? No. Because what happens tomorrow if we wake up, and we've spoke about this, haven't we, and Facebook just decide that roof cleaning ads is a low ticket and they ain't fucking doing it anymore? They just wake up tomorrow, Mark Zuckerberg turns around and goes, right, anyone that doesn't spend 10 grand a month on Facebook on ads, fucking close their accounts. Because we're making billions from big blue chip companies. Mm-hmm. And all these people that aren't spending 10 grand a month are costing us in man hours. We can reduce a massive proportion of our staff and make more money. What happens if he does that? All these people that solely rely on Facebook, guess what? You're fucking gone.
Yep.
You're gone in the blink of an eye. What happens if Facebook suspends your account tomorrow for a violation that didn't happen, but they think it happens, so they've suspended it, and you spend the next 6 weeks trying to get your account back? What happens if your account gets cloned and people are fucking trying to hack into your... Don't forget Facebook, if you're using Facebook paid ads, that's a money transaction to your bank. These get hacked every day. What happens if someone hacks into that and they have to close down your Facebook account? And the only way you get business is through Facebook. Guess what?
You're in trouble.
Your pipeline stops tomorrow. It fucking stops. Then you're going to have to rethink it of how you're going to get working. So what we're saying is yes, use all these great things that are great at generating work, but don't have all your eggs in one basket. Have them spread around. Like Michael said, double down on what works, but have a little bit of Google, have a little bit of fucking social media, have a website, have SEO. You don't have to have it in thousands of pounds, but just have a little bit in it and just keep chipping away at it. All these other bits take time, don't they? SEO takes time. It's not an overnight win. It's a take time. But pay someone. If you can't do it yourself, pay someone for the next 2-3 years to do your SEO for you, to build you up onto page one of Google. Then maybe you don't need to do Google paid ads. Maybe just have £50 a week on Google paid ads. But if you're not monitoring it, you don't know where it's coming from, maybe you need to go in the local magazine. Maybe you have a £25 ad in the local magazine every month. You might just get one job a year. But if that one job is £1,000, you're going to make 750 quid on that job, aren't you? So it's these little things. Don't just think that Facebook is the fucking magic bean. Yep. You know, take the risk away from it. Take the risk away. Put yourself in a comfortable position where you think, okay, if my Facebook went off tomorrow, yeah, I would panic because it is a proportion of my work. But I've not had it on for 3 months and I've got 3 months booked up. So I've got 3 months to unpick the Facebook mess, relaunch it, get it back up and running. I'm not going, fucking hell, it's the end of the world, because everything else is working in the background. So it's that sort of risk management around marketing, you know, and there is good people out there doing good things with marketing. You know, like I said, I've got 2 of them. I'm privileged. I've got 2 good marketeers who do my marketing for me, who I speak to every week to make sure we're doing the right thing. I'm not spending millions of pounds with them, but it's a sensible budget. It's not a massive budget, but I'm limiting the risk. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I'm limiting the risk.
You think it's worth talking about reputation? So protecting your reputation in terms, I know we spoke about this last week a bit, but I think your reputation can take years to build up, but one mistake can ruin it, can't it? You can ruin it in minutes. You can ruin it in one job. So like, would a risk be not collecting Google reviews and not showing off that side of your business? Because let's say you've got 5 Google reviews, let's say very small amount, and then you get 1 or 2 horrendous ones from a really bad week. Your reputation then is almost half bad, half good, and that's really, really hard to come back from. Whereas if you had 250 really good reviews and 1 or 2 bad ones, then the risk is different, isn't it? It's going to be, you're probably down to a 4.9 out of 5 instead of a 5. Whereas if you were down to like a 2-star on Google, that can finish your business off really, because people are going to check you out and then obviously not go with you because it looks awful. So do you reckon there's risk in reputation? Is that something to think about?
Yeah, risk in reputation is massive, and it's not to be neglected. You know, you need to. I mean, look. I'm fucking always speak very open and honestly. I can't speak too much about it, but what I can say with reputation is my reputation at the moment is under attack from a certain individual, and I've had to take legal action and spend a lot of money to issue legal action because lies and rumours fucking damage reputations.
Yep.
And that's all I can say on that, because it is in the hands of the legal teams and they're dealing with that. But yes, your reputation online, especially in a world where we live online, right? It's very easy. And people think there's no repercussions, right? There's massive repercussions. You can't just go spouting shit about people and protecting your reputation. We spend years building a reputation, and you have to look after that with your Google reviews, with the way you speak and conduct online. And if people want to try and take you down through whatever, you've got to have the conviction to step up and protect your reputation. You know, if people leave you a bad review on Google, right, in their mind, it's warranted. In your mind, it probably isn't. But how you respond to that Google review. I've got one bad Google review. I've got a 1 star on William Hale Fire and Security. A woman really wasn't happy with the customer service, right? Not the work, the customer service. I read the review. I read it again. I then waited the next day, read it again, and then replied. Don't reply instantly, because you'll probably say something that you can't unpick. So let it sink in, go and do a bit of fact finding, and then write your reply. And I wrote the reply, and it's on there now. Everyone can see the reply. I replied honestly, sincerely, and I just apologised and said, look, as much as we try to get everything right every day, we're human beings at the end of the day. And I wholeheartedly, as the fucking owner, apologise. I can't do any more than that. I absolutely, we got it wrong. It's very rare we get it wrong, but we did. And hands up, I am so sorry. And I accept your review as a 1 star as correct. I can't do anything about it. You know, I can't do anything about that. But it's your reputation is massive, right? You've got to protect it at all costs. At all costs. But you've got to be open and honest. If we get it wrong, hands up. You'll get more kudos from putting your hands up. I could have gone back and argued with that, right? I could have gone back and said, absolutely, you're chatting shit. Absolutely no chance. You're full of shit. You're just on a vengeance for us because we wouldn't give you a discount. That probably would have bought quite a lot of mileage with people reading and going, well, yeah, there is people out there just want stuff for nothing. But she wasn't. She had a genuine point. We, as a company, fucked up. The customer journey, like the last episode, we got wrong with her. For whatever reason, it slipped through the net. We had to own it. I had to put my fucking hand up and say, you're right. That your job is worthy of 1 star. And I can't get out of that. I haven't asked Google to remove it. It's been on there over a year. Has it damaged the company? No. Have people not come to us? Maybe 1 or 2 have seen it, but it mixed in with another fucking 50 5-star reviews. Okay. But I've owned that and said, look, yeah, I fucking got it wrong. And we apologise. We're only human.
It's all about being transparent, is it? I think people prefer transparency.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was thinking, we've banged on about this a lot, banged this drum a lot, but like just posting on social media, getting yourself in front of the camera, I think that can reduce risk, because if people, say if someone calls out your character or calls out, says you're this, you're that, you're unprofessional, you do this. But if there's videos of you every day for the past 3 years explaining processes, being open, being transparent, mentioning mistakes, mentioning wins, getting your personality across, people are much less likely to see the truth in that, I think. Whereas if someone's calling you out for doing whatever and there's no face to the business, there's a few posts and no one knows who you are, it's more likely that you can buy into that, I think. So protecting yourself, yes, get the reviews, but also tell your story and get yourself in front of the camera. It makes you more human. And it's just another way to protect yourself, I think, if you keep doing it. It has to be obviously real. Don't try and be someone you're not. But if you are a genuine person, get that across and people will believe you and people will buy into it and ignore the noise, I think.
Yeah. And the other thing is as well with that, that's a good point in it, is just tell the truth. It's no good going on social media and lying about something, pretending you do it, or pretending you've done something or you haven't done it, or just be fucking honest with people.
Yeah.
Just be honest, and people buy into that. Because if you lie, right, it will come back round and bite you on the arse somewhere. It just will, won't it?
Yeah.
Somebody will find a video where you've said something and then they've proven that you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Because people are out there trying to do that. That's just life. That's just the way we live in.
If anyone's ever contacted me about working with me or who do work with me, they'll know I'm very, very honest and transparent. I try to be anyway. I say to everyone on like a discovery call, I say, I'm not promising you any leads. I say, you're going to get a load of shit leads as well as good ones, and that's the game. And I'll tell them straight up, I'm not promising anything. And I said, if people do promise you the world, I think just take that with a pinch of salt and keep an eye on that, because you can't. And me being transparent like that, I think it's benefited me in the long run, because it's honest and it's true. I could say, I'm going to get you 200 amazing leads a month for £3 a lead, and it's going to transform your business, give me the money now. And some people will do that, some agencies will do that, but I don't. And I say, yes, some days you might get absolutely nothing. Some days you'll get 10 leads, you know what I mean? And I think just having that, all your cards on the table is the best way to be for business.
Absolutely. It makes me laugh. Do you know the biggest one I've heard recently about me is that I'm full of shit, that I don't charge £1,000 plus the VAT a day for roof cleaning.
Yeah.
I stand in people's gardens, talk to them about the price.
Yeah.
I'm walking around saying another £1,000 here. Why would I be doing that when these people are seeing their houses on social media? I'm like that. Why would I fucking lie about it? What have I got to gain? I'm fucking proud that I'm probably the dearest roof cleaner in my area. I'm fucking proud of it. I always, how many reels do you see of mine that says, if you're looking for cheap, keep scrolling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But people still say, oh, he's full of shit. Him.
Well, you'll get that. I think in this industry as well, if you're listening as well, competitors will try and get at you. People who might be jealous of you or might not be where they want to be in their business, they will try and get at you in any way they can. And that's just, beware of that and just be ready for it, because it happens in this industry. Lots of industries it does as well. But don't be surprised if you get a random bad Google review off someone you've never heard of, because it happens. Or if it's just people just do. They don't, instead of working on their own business, they'll try and bring yours down. That just happens in life, I think. And you've got to just you do what you can, be transparent and build up your own reputation.
A little funny story just quickly on reviews, right? Somebody left us a review for roof cleaning the other day. And I thought, I don't recognise her. We went back through the CRM. We quoted it, right? And she said we were too dear. She obviously got someone cheaper. Forgot who she got and left us the review.
Oh my God.
I was like, fucking brilliant. People are leaving us reviews and we haven't even worked for them. That's just a mad story, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So whoever did the work, thank you, because your customer left us a fucking lovely review.
Some people just don't. They don't think about you, do they? They just think about them. I remember for my wedding business, right? Like at most businesses, when COVID hit, when Boris Johnson announced that lockdown and all the weddings were cancelled, and if you remember that, obviously you remember lockdown, but weddings were hit bad. Yeah. So every wedding that you had booked in was cancelled or at least postponed. Yeah. So all the wedding suppliers were dealing with this, right? And in between that, someone booked a call with me, like a discovery call for their wedding. And I missed the call because I was dealing with all this shit from the lockdown.
Yeah.
And I woke up and there was a 1-star review on Google and Facebook saying, if you want reliability, don't go anywhere near these. They didn't turn up to my call. I looked at it and I thought, what the and I commented back saying, do you know what's going on in the world at the minute? Do you know that every wedding's been cancelled and it's really hard and we're all dealing with it all, and I'm sorry I missed one call, but they don't care. People don't give a shit. Yeah. They want to vent their anger out and they'll just do it. So I think, you've got to...
You've got to protect your reputation at all costs. Yeah. You've got to stand. You've got to be
easily damaged.
You've got to be true. Yeah, true to your values. Don't lie. Up and own everything.
Yeah.
And really up and own it. If you drop a bollock, own it.
Mm-hmm.
Just own it, because today's news is tomorrow's chip paper wrapper, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's gone. Mm-hmm. Just own it. Just own it. Don't try and push it under the carpet. Face it front on. Fucking apologise, move on. Yeah. Life's too short. Mm-hmm. But reputation is we know companies that have got an awful reputation but still do all right. And I don't just mean external cleaning, right? I'm talking about big companies, You know, I think one of the biggest companies that's got the world's probably the worst reputation ever is Pontins, the holiday camps. They're absolutely dreadful, but they're still booked, overbooked every week, with an absolutely awful reputation. They've made TV programs about how bad they are. But they're still booked, you know. But they just deal with it. They deal. So everyone's reputation, good or bad, you've just got to deal with it, haven't you?
You know who the
if
best?
You've got a good reputation.
The absolute best star at dealing with it is, I think, Ryanair. You ever seen Ryanair on social media?
Yeah,
it's absolute genius. People will send pictures saying booked a window seat and there's no window, and they'll go back at them with a joke and say yes, so whatever. That is, I mean, I'm not saying for you all to do that, but there are ways that that shows you their personality, and them owning it and being transparent and doing all that. Is protecting them. They're getting slated left, right, and centre every single day, Ryanair, but you'll still go with them, and they own it and they lean into it. So there's ways to approach it. How long have we got left? Because my camera died for a bit. I don't know what we're on.
We've got 9 minutes.
Oh, fuck it, bloody hell. Okay, right. Let's go into a question each. Let's keep it risk. One for you. What's the biggest risk you've taken in a business, for better or worse, and did it pay off?
What's the biggest risk I've taken? In a business? Let's keep it current. Cobra was probably the biggest risk. A lot of money. To get brushes, it cost me £13,000 just to get the brushes that I had to pay cash for, you know, to get brushes to keep my business going. A massive risk. And then the work behind the scenes to build that company up as quick as we have. Massive financial risk. Has it paid off? Time will tell. It's exceeding its targets. It's exceeding its profit. And it's building. But it was a massive financial risk just to buy the brushes, because that's all I ever wanted, was to cost me £13,000. You know, out of a war chest. So yeah, that I would say Cobra. And that's keeping it really current. I could have gone back. I've been in business 26 years. I could have gone back loads of things. As an entrepreneur, we live in risk. That's what keeps us alive, is living in risk.
Yeah.
But a current one that's really current, and I suppose to our viewers, is the Cobra risk. Yeah, trying to build something massively controversial and massively risky.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That would say that. Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah. Question for you. I'm going to go back to this podcast again. Now listening to this, is there anything, and it's really easy because I haven't thought of a question, is there anything you're going to take away that you're going to implement in your businesses for risk after listening to us speak today?
I wonder if I'd post more mistakes. More for the agency, you know, because trying to build personal brand and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm very transparent when I speak to people.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's value in putting a video up saying,
I got it wrong.
Yeah. I wonder if that's something to lean into.
Or it is. I think people buy into that.
Yeah, I've had this bad client, or this campaign flopped, or you know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's... It's made me think of to do something like that.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. I put a video up yesterday on Cotswold roof cleaning, and it was titled, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I fucking got it wrong. I made a major mistake, and I lost £1,000 yesterday. Because where we thought it was a 1-day job, it ended up being a 2-day job. Well, at £1,000 a day, that's £1,000 we lost yesterday. And I had to own up and say, yeah, I got it wrong. Did we cut corners? No. Did we try and rush the job? No. We did it in 2 days. Did we try and put the price on the customer? No. We've taken it, swallowed it, and moved on.
Yeah.
But I think owning up to mistakes publicly, I think it absolutely builds trust.
I think so.
At speed. Because but not everything's fucking roses, is it? Not everything goes to plan. We're running businesses. Every day is an uphill fucking struggle for something. Every day something will go a little bit, fucking hell, could have done without that. It might be your cost per leads go up. It might be your van didn't start and it's took you a couple of hours later to get on site. You might have got on site, your pressure washer didn't fucking start. You might have got on site, your Cobra didn't fucking start. You might have fucking, whatever, your scaffolding, you're missing a leg off your scaffolding. Fuck's sake, where's the wheel? Where's the wheel off the alley tower gone? It's just things happen that throw your day. And I think highlighting it just shows that you are human. You are trying your best. But shit goes wrong. But we have a plan. We have a risk management plan. Every business that's watching this, over the next week, write yourself a little risk management plan for certain things. And just keep it on your phone, on your computer, pinned to the wall in the office, right? Pinned to the wall in your garage, fucking on the sun visor of your van. Just have a think about what if. What's the risk to me? And what is the plan? What is the SOP to get myself out of that predicament? Because at some point in your business career, you're going to have to call on it. And you'll be glad that you've thought about it now and had something in place for that risk. Absolutely. And let's pray to God it fucking never turns up. Even better. But if it does, you're on the front foot. Once you've shit your pants, you're going to go, I'm on it.
Yeah. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. And that's a good quote. I think about that a bit. All right. Question from a listener. This isn't about what we're speaking about, but I told him that I would answer it. For a driveway and patio cleaning business, what would you consider a healthy quote acceptance rate during the first year? So I guess that's more me. I guess you can give a roof answer if you want in a minute. But driveway and patios, first of all, during the first year, I don't think that matters. I think if you portray yourself in a way, no one has to know that you're in your first year. So it's up to you how you want to position yourself. In terms of Facebook ads, I would say 20 to 30%, I would say. So if you were to get 100 driveway or patio leads, I would hope you could close somewhere between 20 to 30 of those in a good month. Roof cleaning, you might know, Matt, that it drops. It's lower than that. It's probably 10 to 20 for roofs, but you'll get a higher acceptance rate on driveway and patios compared to roofs, just because it's lower ticket and people are more open to paying the lower prices from Facebook ads. In terms of organic, I wouldn't know. It depends where you're getting your leads from. But that's for a Facebook ads answer. I would say 20 to 30% for driveways and patios. So I hope that answers that. Cool. All right then. 2 left, man. 2 episodes left.
There you go. Season one is coming to an end, isn't it?
Man. Yeah. Network and partnerships next week. Networking
really
and partnerships. Yeah.
It's a big topic, isn't it? Big topic.
They're all big topics, man. Like I said, even some of them on the face of it seem a bit slow, but they're not at all. They're all specifically designed to help you move you along from day one. So hopefully,
I tell you what would be interesting, because we've got 2 minutes left. I'm watching the clock that we don't go over, and we keep to our guidelines. Won't it be really interesting? Maybe in the next, whatever we do next, is we find somebody who's followed us all 12 episodes and maybe have them as a guest and ask them, has it moved your business? Have you moved personally? Has your business moved? And just to get, a real honest take from them. Say, what do you think? You've started on episode 1, you've got to episode 12. What are we saying?
Yeah, man, I like that. If you're listening to this then, because we get a lot of messages saying that they're regular listeners. If you want to come on in a couple of weeks' time, if you followed this journey and found it useful, drop me a comment below the video or DM one of us on Insta or TikTok or whatever, and we'll get you on if you want to come on, if you're feeling brave. That'd be good. That's a good idea, man. Like it. 59
minutes, we're done.
Right, cool.
We're closing.
Thank you very much for listening again. Hope you've all enjoyed it. And we will see you for week 11, the penultimate episode. I'll see you then.
Cool. See you then. Take care.
Bye-bye.